Hi, buddy. So, just trying to do a very quick little bit for you, just to expand on what I was trying to say in that little convoluted text message from yesterday. You'll be going through the tutorial stuff in it, or the opening stages anyway, which will guide you through stuff, but it can be a bit overwhelming with all the guns and what's going on, and things like that. So I thought I'd do a quick sort of, try and keep it as brief as possible, run through. Pull my little inventory up. As I say, you'll have probably these two slots available. You might not have these two at the moment. You might have the shield. Don't know how far along you've got, but none of these possibly available just yet. You might have grenades, maybe. But essentially, yeah, on your left, you've got your inventory. On your right, you've got your backpack. Your backpack's going to be quite limited to start with, and you're going to find it's going to be a hassle at the start. You're going to be picking up a lot of guns. As I say, it's a shoot and loot kind of game, so you're going to be picking up a lot of guns. Some are better than others. Some are more useful. You'll find it in your own sort of style of play, what you prefer. My advice would be pick up as many guns as you can do. And fill this backpack out. And if you come across a gun that you think, oh, I prefer that one to that one, just drop, like triangle to just drop whatever you've got. You can mark them with the L3. So, for example, that you've got a little trash can in the bottom, or star as your favourite. If you mark it as a trash, for example, you can bulk mark them if you like. You can go over to a ammo dump or a weapons dump, hit into your shop. Shut up. And then if you click R1 and then you do triangle, you can do them individually, but if you do triangle, anything you've marked as junk, it will sell, and you'll get your cash flow through the cash in the box. You can, if you within enough time, if you made a mistake, go back in and click buyback, and you can buy it back, 200,000, boom, buy it back type thing. So that's good to have. As I say, you'll use way too much about buying guns at the moment, because you're going to find so many as you go along, but they're quite useful. It's quite useful to sort of mark them down as trash and go from there. With the actual guns themselves, obviously you've got your pistols. You see a little symbol in the corner. You've got your pistols, submachine guns, your assault rifles, shotguns, rocket launchers, and sniper rifles. I don't tend to use rocket launchers and sniper rifles that much for my style of play, but that might change for you. They're really powerful, and it sort of depends on who you're up against and what you're doing. But I don't really use assault rifles too much, weirdly. I tend to stick to shotguns, pistols, particularly pistols where you've got like a sort of an automatic or semi-auto fire like trigger on them, rather than your one shot, boom, boom, boom each time. And your Uzis pretty much for that reason, because then because they act as almost like a mini Uzi or a mini submachine gun in some ways, so you can sort of alternate between the two. As I said before, you've got your ammo store at the bottom. Again, it'll be quite limited at the start, and you might find, oh god, you're using your pistol all the time, and you're running out of pistol ammo. And again, if you've got a couple of pistols, like for example here I've got two submachine guns. If I'm using that and I'm switching between them two, then it's going to pull from a submachine gun ammo store. So my advice or my tip would really be try and have in these, certainly when you open 4 slots, have like one of each, like a pistol, shotgun, sub, and then maybe like a sniper rifle or a rocket launcher or something like that in, just so if you're in dire need to suddenly switch, you can switch your gun and you know you've got enough ammo in that particular class. Again, there are literally millions of guns, without exaggeration in that, because they're all different. They all come with different sort of setups. So even the hazardous free radical gun there, for example, you might get in slightly different forms. Some of them are legendary. You only get a legendary hazardous free radical, for example. But some of the guns you might get a similar look or a similar name or whatever. I mean, there are thousands, but the setups will be different. There might be a different damage. They might have a different element added to them, or different things. I mean, you work your way through. You've got different weapon damage in that one, for example, 320% weapon damage. Boom, boom. Don't worry about mayhem level 10. Forget about all that for now. So you've got loads of different options there. So you just got to find what's right. But like you've got different manufacturers: Torque, Malawan, Hyperion, Hedor. You've got Jacobs, Atlas. Again, they work slightly differently. So you've got COV, like the Children of the Vault ones. They tend to, I think, rather than reloading, they overheat and they explode or something like that. The Jacobs ones are your more traditional. They tend to be like sniper rifles and pistols and that, and they just sort of your bog standard whatever. Malawan tend to be more technical looking and have technical things to them. So they differ slightly as well. And then you've got, like, say, the element damage. So you've got, for example, that one's got like a little blue, that's shock damage. So you've got shock, you've got radiation, or corrosive, sorry. You've got radiation damage, and you've got flame or fire damage. You've also got ice damage, I think it is. Oh, that one's an ice. That's got a bit of ice to it. That one, cryo damage, basically just sort of freezes the enemy. Different effect. All guns will hurt the enemy. All guns will take some damage, but some more than others. So so flame, for example, against like humans and animals, flesh, basically, will do a lot more damage than against a robot. Equally, shock is going to do a hell of a lot more damage against robots or shields than others. Radiation will impact particularly like humans and things like that. If you've got a group of enemies, if you hit them with radiation, and for a little time as well, they'll radiate some damage to sort of nearby enemies. So that's good for taking down like big groups of enemies. So they all differ in slightly different ways, and again, they all come with different damage buffs and things like that to get used to. The item score in the corner, I wouldn't worry too much about. It's a bit ambiguous really as to what it denotes. Obviously, the higher the score, the better the gun, and the guns will go up as well and level with you. So, for example, you may find this premium sure shot gun, for example, in your early stages at level 5 or 10, and its damage might be 2,000 or 200 or something like that. Once you get to level, say, 40, 50 plus, whatever, you might find that gun again randomly, or an enemy might drop it, and its damage might be a lot better. So it will sort of level up. The enemies will level with you, not to the point where they, it's like for like every time, and there'll always be the same level of difficulty. You will get better, but they'll level up slightly as well, so it doesn't make it an easy walk through. So you've leveled up quickly, you've got some really decent guns at the start, and then the rest is just a breeze because all enemies are the same. They'll level slightly with you as well, so it just sort of keeps that challenge going a little bit. But as I say, it's good to sort of rotate around. Some guns, like this one here, if I come out, I've got it on me here. You'll see in the bottom, you've got incendiary damage, little thing above your 2 yellow skill sets. If you click on the D-pad down, it will change it to shock. Some of them light up as well. So, for example, shock, the gun's turned a little bit blue there, and a little bit orange for incendiary. Again, good if you've got a particular favourite gun that's got a couple of things to them. You come up against an armoured foot soldier who's got a shield on him or something. Boom, shock, takes down the shield, and then switch to incendiary, and then boom, 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 hit him with that and set him alight. So again, you'll find your skill, your style of play, whatever, you'll find a couple of guns early on that you'll just really like, and you'll stick and will do most of the jobs for you. And then certain enemies will really you'll need particular guns for, I would say, and certainly bosses at least. Similar to your shield, I tend to look at the shield and go capacity. Because it gives you your bottom. Obviously, at the bottom there, you've got your health and your shield, and your bottom left with your shield at the top. I've also got a buff on that, so my shield's 145, but I've probably got a buff somewhere along the line of one of my skill set things that's buffed it a little bit more as well. But I tend to, as I say, go for the capacity on that. But certain shields again are better. I mean, that comes with a fight for your life time reduced by 50%. So where you fight for your life, so you get, so when you run out of health, you'll go into that sort of like fight for your life mode, where it gives you like 10 or 15 or whatever seconds it is. If you can kill an enemy within that time, your movement's restricted and things like that. If you kill an enemy within that time, you get the second wind, off you go again. This actually reduces that time by 50%, so it makes it a bit harder, but at the same time, that comes with the bonus of your capacity. So, also certain shields, so I do have one in here somewhere. That one, so you see on the bottom, it gives you 100% resistance to shock. Certain bosses or enemies, but bosses particularly, might have a particular attack which is predominantly shock resistant. So while the capacity of this is a lot lower, I'm 100% resistance to his shock attack, which can make a huge difference. You've still got to watch out for little minions you might have running around that might attack you, and you've got to lower capacity shield, but the actual shock on that, shock resistance on that is fantastic. In fact, it converts 100% into shields, so it kind of keeps it going. It's almost like the more it's shocking you, the more your shields are going to hold up against the minions or whatever. So there's certain bosses you'll find out who as you go along that's if you can get that particular shield or come across one like it, then that's huge, because that'll make it an absolute breeze going through. But that's about it really. You've got skill sets which I think you'll come across. If you haven't yet, you'll get one and then you'll open up another one, and that's your two little yellow things in the bottom right hand corner there. They differ, so you've got 4 per Vault Hunter, with only 2 active at any one time. I have the Digiclone and the Sentinel. 1 active. Yours are different because you've got the Siren, so I can't remember what yours are, but they'll really benefit. And then you can upgrade them as that skill tree says. Once you've unlocked them at the top, you can add different things on, and some of them will be like, you get an increased reload speed at a particular level. You get activating this automatically activates all of his kill skills. What's that one? Sentinel's primary weapon change to cryo damage. So you flick around a bit, but they're really so. L1 for me gives me my Digiclone, so he'll attack targets using the same gun that I've unleashed him with, and I can switch between me and him. So that's really beneficial. And also I've got the Sentinel which shoots out. And he shoots out and goes and does things about it. And again, similar to like Call of Duty and things like that, they have X amount of time on them, and then once they die or whatever, disappear, then you've got cooldown time at the bottom. But again, get used to using them because they'll make life a hell of a lot easier. I can't remember what yours are, but they're good. When my Digiclone blows up, one of the bonuses is to drop a grenade as well, so just give that a little bit of extra damage at the end. And as I say, in the bottom there you've got your cooldown time. So yeah, just a couple of other things, you'll pick them up as you go along, but the guns, I would say, mate, is just grab what you can, sell them as and when you can, and look at sort of pumping money into like your skill trees and things like that. And your backpack, you'll learn, I think, further down the line where you can upgrade your backpack and things like that. That'll come. So lots of things to discover. It's a fun little game. I think it is. I've quite enjoyed it. It's a bit sort of tongue in cheek. It's got a bit of. As I say, it's tongue in cheek. It's a bit sort of silly at times and things like that. But I quite like it. Sort of takes away that COD seriousness or whatever. And it's not overly difficult. It's quite straightforward. It's got some good little stories to it, good characters and whatnot. So yeah, give it a go, mate. Let us know how you get on. But as I say, that's sort of a bit of a rundown with the gun side of things. As I say, there's lots to take in. You'll find the gun styles you like and things like that, but don't be overwhelmed by being sort of overloaded with stuff at the moment. I'll try and jump in as and when I can if you're playing, because I think I can jump in and help join you. I don't know how it works with the enemy level, given I'll be higher than you are, and I don't want to ruin it for you, so I'll let you sort of crack on. But if you get stuck with anything, let me know, or I can just sort of come in and take out sort of like some basic stuff for you. But yeah, it's fun. So yeah, give it a go, buddy.